Most people think motivation fades because of laziness or lack of discipline. That's a surface-level story. At a deeper level, short-lived motivation is not a failure of willpower. It's a predictable outcome of how your brain, your environment, and your identity interact. Here are the deeper mechanisms almost nobody talks about. First, motivation is not designed to last. From an evolutionary perspective, motivation is a spike, not a state. Your brain releases dopamine not as a reward, but as a signal of anticipated change. Once something becomes familiar, dopamine drops. That's why a new goal excites you for a few days, then feels flat. The system isn't broken. It's doing exactly what it was designed to do. Push you to explore, not to persist. Second, you are confusing emotional energy with structural momentum. Motivation feels like energy, but progress comes from systems. When you rely on motivation, you are essentially trying to run a machine on sparks instead of fuel. High performers don't feel more motivated. They build environments where action happens automatically. The real shift is from "I feel like doing this" to "this is what I do regardless of how I feel." Third, your brain resists identity change more than effort. Starting something new isn't just doing a task, it's becoming a different person. And your brain is conservative. It prefers a stable identity over a better one. So when you try to change, you experience subtle resistance, procrastination, distraction, sudden fatigue. Not because the task is hard, but because the identity shift is threatening. You're not fighting laziness. You're negotiating with who you believe you are. Fourth, modern environments hijack your motivational circuits. Your brain evolved in a world of scarcity. Today, you live in a world of instant stimulation, social media, short videos, constant novelty. These create frequent dopamine spikes with no effort. As a result, slower, meaningful goals feel boring in comparison. It's not that you lack motivation, it's that your baseline has been artificially raised. Real work cannot compete with engineered stimulation unless you consciously rebalance your environment. Fifth, you are chasing outcomes, not reducing uncertainty. Motivation is strongest when the path is unclear but promising. Once you start working and reality becomes concrete, uncertainty disappears, and so does the excitement. This is why people love planning but struggle with execution. Planning lives in imagination. Execution lives in friction. Experts don't rely on excitement. They train themselves to tolerate the boredom of clarity. Sixth, your brain values immediate coherence over long-term success. If your daily actions don't match your internal narrative, motivation collapses. For example, if you see yourself as someone who struggles with consistency, every missed day reinforces that identity. Over time, motivation fades not because of failure, but because your actions and identity are aligned in the wrong direction. The hidden rule is this: you will always act in ways that confirm who you think you are. Seventh, motivation dies when feedback loops are too slow. Your brain needs evidence that effort matters. If results are delayed or invisible, it assumes the effort is pointless. That's why habits fail. There's no immediate proof they're working. The top 0.01% solve this by creating artificial feedback, tracking progress, celebrating small wins, making invisible progress visible. They don't wait for results. They manufacture reinforcement. Finally, there's a paradox. The more you depend on motivation, the less you have it. Motivation grows from action, not the other way around. Waiting to feel ready is the fastest way to stay stuck. The real sequence is reversed: act first, then motivation follows. Small actions create momentum, momentum creates belief, and belief sustains action. So the truth is uncomfortable, but powerful. You don't need more motivation. You need fewer illusions about it. Motivation is temporary by design. Systems, identity, and environment are what actually carry you forward. If you understand this deeply, you stop asking, "How do I stay motivated?" and start asking, "How do I make action inevitable?" And that's where everything changes. If you like this video, subscribe.